Yeah, so I've had a pretty interesting life. Start off, I was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, to my father John Michael Kiedis and my mother Peggy Noble, and my parents weren't the perfect couple. I mean, my dad was in and out of our lives, and he'd keep on leaving and come back again, and it was just crazy. And at one point, he moved to Europe, where he he was with a friend, and they would uh, just live freely, and they were just completely carefree, and they just go to concerts and live wherever they could find a place, and yeah, it was just whatever they just wanted to do. And so finally, my dad settled down and moved to California, and went to Los Angeles, and every summer I'd visit him, and I'd live with him, and I was just stoked to go down there because I just loved my dad. Like, I just loved him so much. So I just wanted to be like him so much, and he was just, I would just dress like him and try to be like him and just try to look like him, and I just wanted to follow his footsteps, and I thought he was just the perfect role model for me, even though I knew he wasn't the perfect guy, because I mean he was involved in selling drugs and selling marijuana, and it was just, I knew it was illegal, but I just loved my dad because he was my dad, and I thought he was just a great guy to me. And so actually when I was 12 years old, he introduced me to marijuana and asked if I wanted to smoke some with him, and I said sure, why not, because I just loved him so much, I wanted to be like him. So I smoked my first joint with him, and from then on I loved the sensation of feeling high. So I just kept on doing drugs and started doing other drugs and experimenting with drugs. And actually my friend and I would go to break into random houses and steal some shit and steal the drugs that we could find, just anything we can get our hands on, just because we just wanted to do drugs and thought it was cool. And I mean, that my life started boiling down to just having sex and doing drugs, and I was just a troublemaker, just caused trouble in school and trouble with my teachers, just didn't listen to them, and I just realized that that was bad, so I stopped being a troublemaker, but I couldn't stop doing drugs because I was just hooked on them. So I kept on doing drugs, and at one point, actually, when I was at Fairfax High School, I met these guys, Flea, Jack, and Hillel, and I auditioned for their band, and we became the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and from then on we started just performing all the time and making music, and we'd just have gigs, and the money we'd make from our gigs we'd spend on drugs, and we'd just get loaded on drugs, and then it was just crazy. It came to the point where it was just I would be so loaded before a show that that I'd have to call my bandmates and have them pick me up because I was just in the middle of nowhere before a gig, just stoned out of my mind, and just didn't really know what I was doing. And so it just got to the point where they kicked me out, and I was just devastated. I was heartbroken because that band was my life, and I just didn't know what I could do without them. And so finally I decided drugs were just bad, and I saw the negative consequences, so I stopped and got sobered up and got clean, and a few months later I rejoined the band because I was fine again, and it was pretty good. And then I got back hooked to drugs again, and it was pretty bad, but I mean, I started going in and off on drugs, and I'd stop sometimes, realize it was bad, but kept on getting hooked again, and it was hard. And there was one point where I found out this news that my bandmate Hillel had actually OD'd on drugs and died, and that just devastated me, and I was just in complete denial because I knew drugs were bad, but I just didn't realize that the consequences would actually happen to me or just my friends, and it was just so hard. And I know I should have stopped after that, but I just couldn't cope with myself without the drugs, so I just started going harder and just kept on having more drugs, and it was really bad. And after a while, I realized how bad it was doing drugs, so I sobered up again, went to meetings and did some rehab, and got clean again, and we started writing more good songs for our band and my group, and but then I got back into drugs and kept on going, and it was just constantly going, doing drugs, stopping drugs. It was just chaos, and but finally I stopped, and now I'm clean. I just realized through so many experiences how bad drugs are, and right now I've been clean for a few years, and I sometimes get that sensation to do drugs again, but I just think of all the bad and just haven't done it for a while because just don't want to get back in that habit. So yeah.